Hi folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. I want to tell you a little story. Just a couple days after my last fishing report, my buddy Russ and I went out. We said, well, the weather's different this fall. Maybe we can get out there, put the canoe in, and see if we can catch some northern pike. And we normally don't do this. The conditions are far more severe usually this time of the year. So we go out in a bay that I really hadn't fished or even thought there would be northern pike in this time of the year. And we had, I think, a wonderful day. The weather was really nice. It wasn't windy, so our canoe wasn't blowing around in circles. And the sun was out. It wasn't what it was almost bluebird skies, and that's not normally a good time for northern pike. But we caught 7 northern pike, and we probably had 7 or 10 or 15 more hooked and lost for different reasons. And I'll get into that in another report. But the thing that really stood out for me in this is that we could continue to enjoy this kind of fishing. But also, there were certain trends that took place that I can pass on to you. Now, I've always fished bucktail jigs. I've told you that. I think they're wonderful. But they're wonderful because they're wonderful for me. And I've spent so much of my life using them, having faith in them, that I've developed a certain way to fish them that's highly effective. And also, the color of these jigs really made a difference. Now, Russ was using spinner baits and chatter baits and paddle tail swim baits. He wasn't getting a thing. And I continued to use my jig. And I said, Russ, you can use one of these. You can use any of them that are in my box. But I'm having the most luck with this pink and yellow bucktail. It was a 1/4 ounce, and it was fairly long. And so Russ starts using some of my other bucktails, and he's not getting anything. I said, Russ, there's another one the same color. Try that. He puts that on, and he gets a strike. And the smile started coming out of his face. I mean, he was so thrilled to get that strike. And then he went and he caught one. And it was a nice pike. It wasn't gigantic. We didn't catch anything gigantic, but it was pretty nice. So here's my point, and here's what I want to pass on to you. And I feel this so strongly that I'm going to do another report on more specifically what bucktails and how to fish them and how to choose which ones you should use. But for now, just know that if you get to learn how to make a bucktail look alive in the water, and that's what you're trying to do with anything. But in this case, most people will look at a bucktail jig and they'll think it's nothing. It's not going to do anything. It's just a bunch of hair and a jig head. Well, it can be like taking a still shot and turning it into a video. It can come alive in your hands, and it can become one of the best lures you could ever use. But again, more about next time. But what this all means is that even this time of the year, 2 guys that just hate to say goodbye to open water fishing had another chance to go, and it was a wonderful afternoon. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.